Okay, good morning. We're here with Miako Ikegame from the Women of Asia Arts Initiative. Miako, could you just introduce yourself to us, please, and where you have come from and where you currently work, please?
My name is Miako Ikegame. I'm from Japan. I came to United States of America in 1990. I have been working in the United Nations for more than 32 years, starting in Rome-based agencies. So before United States, I was in Europe for about 15 years. But now in United States, I have been here for 20 years. I work currently in the Office of Special Advisor on Africa for peace and development in Africa. Prior to that, I also worked for Asian countries. I've been to 28 African countries, and I've been to maybe nearly 20 countries in Asia. Currently, my work focuses on the issues related to peace and development in Africa. The major task for us in our team is to bring in the attention of the international community for the emerging issues related to peace and development in Africa. That's what I do.
That's a very interesting and diverse life that you have. And I believe that you actually have a very diverse background. Can you tell us how you came to work at the United Nations? What's your educational background and the steps that you went through?
Well, you know, many people ask that question because for many people, United Nations is so far away. It was the case for me too. But I gradually learned how to get into United Nations and being advised what studies I should take. I studied in Japan at the Tokyo Women's University in English and also the business administration. After that, I studied in Canada, taking courses in anthropology, political science, and social sciences. Then I went to Sweden and enrolled in the international school, international graduate school at the University of Stockholm, and I took the two master degrees, one in the social anthropology and another one in the international development economics. And it was a hard way to get into, but I was the first woman from Japan who was selected by the foreign ministry of my government to work in the international organization as a young professional. And that was in 1980, so it's quite some times back. And after working 2 years, I was very lucky to get a permanent position in the United Nations, and that's how I entered the United Nations system.
Thank you. Well, so there's business administration, there's political science, there's social anthropology, there's economics, there's all the humanitarian work that you do. How did you go from that to being involved in the arts?
Well, I must say, art has been always a part of my life. It is just like oxygen I need in my life, because art gives me pleasure and happiness and the universal messages, which could be through the form of the paintings, which could be the form of the sculpture, which could be the form of the music. For me, art is oxygen for me for the quality of life. And this is how I got always interested in arts, particularly having such an excellent opportunity to go to the different parts of the world to see the different type of the work, of the artworks, music or paintings or sculpture. So during my office duties in those countries, I always took time and energy to understand the arts from all over the world in different forms and different expressions. So my profession is not in the field of arts, but I took the equal interest in arts development along with my professional work, which is basically in humanitarian works.
Okay. So getting to what we have and the initiative that's happening today, can you tell us a little bit about the Women of Asia Arts Initiative? what your goals are, what you're hoping to achieve through that initiative, please?
Yes, as you know, 8th of March is International Women's Day. Why do we have International Women's Day and not International Men's Day? Because the world requires more attention for the advancement and development of the women and their ability and potential talents. I think we have a lot to do. So this initiative was launched on the basis of that spirit, and I understand March is now considered to be the month for the promotion of women, both in New York City and New York State. So with this initiative, we hope to be able to support and advance the objectives that we set forward for International Women's Day. That is to give the equal opportunity and more opportunity for women to grow in the society and contribute their artistic ability.
Great. Well, just there you were mentioning, New York City and the importance of Women's Day and even the entire month of March to women and how it's celebrated in New York City. How important is the location of your initiative right now, right, which is fundamentally based in New York City, which is also where you're based, and how would you like to see the initiative, let's say, expand and move? Would you like to see it go to other areas as well, or how do you see this happening?
Well, as you know, New York is not a city of the United States. New York is a city for the world. You will see so many people coming from the different parts of the world, and it has a potential opportunity for any artist and any talented people to market themselves, let them know the world, the ability of these people, arts and music. So the city as a cosmopolitan nature is very important for this initiative. However, the opportunity should not be given only for those who are in United States. In fact, this should be the window for the world, giving opportunity for the people and artists from all over the world. This time, for the first initiative event, we are bringing artists from Asia. But I would like to bring artists from different regions in Latin America, Caribbean, African countries, Near East, East Europe. So many fantastic, talented people are out there. And New York should bring those people so that the world could have an opportunity to know the talents and the messages of the artist to bring to the universe and humanity.
So now let's get to the more practical elements. You know, as a non-artist, but as someone who appreciates the art, how do you face the challenges of organizing and promoting events with artists? You know, let's just deal with particularly this concert. What were some of the challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome them, or what were you looking for to help you organize this event?
Well, what I understood about the art world, particularly art business world, they are so much connected, and without connection and network, without it, if you're not part of it, it's very difficult to involve in the organization of any events related to arts. For instance, this time we are bringing 3 artists. They are quite well known in Japan and maybe China, but they haven't had an opportunity to come to United States and exposure to the rest of the world. They do not have the connection and network in the art business in United States. And this is a reason sometimes somebody like me, who is not professionally related to the art business, can bring fresh air to the art world. I think there is a great advantage being not a professional artist in order to give the opportunity for those who are outside of the art business world. I must say in this connection, New York is a place for encounter. And it is certainly with my great pleasure to get to know Sandy just about 1 year ago, and we talked over the dinner table potential for these artists to come to United States. And it is a friendship that really brought us together to be able to organize this concert. And this is the magic of the city, that individuals can get together and get to know each other and work together for something for common interest.
Very nice. Now the three artists that we have for the concert this afternoon, we have Yukari, who's going to be on jazz flute. We have Naoya, a fantastic project player, and then we also have Sachiko Suga. How did you select these three artists, and what was it like to actually work with these wonderful three artists? Who you said, you just mentioned that they are not necessarily that well known, so that also in itself raises some issues in terms of, let's say, fundraising or in terms of getting publicity. So how did you select these three artists, and then how did you try and spread the word about these three musicians?
Well, I must say, I didn't necessarily select them.
Okay.
You know, in life, there are moments of destiny. I really feel encountering three individual artists, well talented, was almost like a destiny. Because I met them not through the art, but with my business and work in United Nations, and also in my private setting. I came to know them as an individual first, and then I came to learn they are professional musicians. And all of them, being a woman, went through some hardship and difficulties in having their music valued and appreciated by society. And this, as a woman, and with solidarity of a woman, I felt that it is my duty to explore the possibility to bring them to the world, and the world should also learn and get contribution from them. So this is how it came to today's concert.
Okay. Well, one of the things you just mentioned there is let's say the role of women, right, and the kind of almost changing role of Asian women, and particularly Asian artists, Asian female artists. How have you noticed any change, let's say, in the last 10 or 20 years in how they're perceived and the opportunities that they're getting? Or is it still, let's say, a struggle for some of them in what is, in a way, almost a male-dominated profession, right? Have you seen any change there, or are you hoping to make more change there, or is there still a way to go?
I must say this is one of the fields which United Nations has played a significant role. You know, there is a forum for the advancement of women, and there is a meeting, international conference, that United Nations organizes every year to promote women. And the United Nations is a field where we can give the opportunity for the weakest, poorest, and the most depressed. And the women being in the gender which belong to this category have a benefit of coming to the United Nations and voice their needs. So for the last 20 years, there has been a tremendous advancement in terms of international political efforts to bring the women mainstreamed in many societies. Certainly, some society has succeeded better than others. For instance, the best score for the women's participation in decision-making is in fact Rwanda in Africa, where 57% of the parliamentarians are women, while the population percentage is only 52%. This is a country where they achieved more than the population ratio in terms of the participation of women in decision-making and parliament. Japan, somehow, in spite of the great economical growth and so on, Japan still have a big challenge to go. The rank is very low in the world list. But if you take, for instance, Asia, we have now witnessed the head of the countries and the governments, such as the Philippines and Bangladesh, and maybe soon Myanmar and so on, are coming up. So I would say, in general, we have advanced quite a bit for the women's participation in the society. But there are still vast ratio of the women population who are still working so hard and making bread for the children and the family, and yet not having the enough opportunity for the access to the land, access to the credit, and access to the opportunity. And that is a case for the artist as well, in my view.
Well, in that, let's say, in that vein, I'd like to just ask one maybe more general question to wrap things up, which is, and I think it's particularly pertinent to you because of your work with the United Nations and now your continuing work into the arts. What role do you think the arts play in the development of our society?
You know, I think that's a very important question, because world tend to focus on our economic growth, and nowadays our life is so much focused on how much you earn. Money is a power of the society, but we do not live by food alone. We do not live by money alone. We need spiritual food in our life in terms of the quality of life. Music is a universal language beyond differences in our culture, values, and languages. Music contains universal message to the people, the messages which are beyond words. I think we need music, and we have to get the children to grow in that environment. Give them opportunity to grow in their talent for music and arts, not only arithmetics and the economic development policies, but we need also the humanitarian and human-based requirements of our life. And this is how I see music as equally and more important than economic field and financial field. And this is what we need now. We are so much focused on the technology development, information development. We are so individualistic. Maybe the computer is becoming your wife, your husband, your friends, and everything. But that's not the quality of life. We need harmony and uniting our spirit together, that we work, we live on this earth together. We need a humanitarian collaboration and unity to live this earth in harmony. So this is how I see the role of music and art in our life.
Well, thank you, Miako. I think on that inspirational note, we'll call it a day, and really looking forward to the concert this afternoon. And thank you for all your work and for this wonderful interview. And hopefully we'll see a lot more from the Women of Asia Arts Initiative, and maybe even more initiatives to come.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Miako, that was great.